As you probably know, the Sigma male personality thinks differently and appreciates things with measurable value. Whereas others follow the crowd because of the unique way these lone wolves see the world, Sigma men are very likely to shun things other people enjoy. Mind you, if you are not a Sigma male or have not lived with one before, you will find this list to be very weird. You would almost think it can't be real, but it is. Sigma men are just like that, and they would appreciate it if you could understand them. But if you do not, then that is your problem because they don't want anyone's approval anyway. Before I get down to analyzing this unique trait of Sigma men, I ask that you subscribe to the channel now as we get into some serious topics. You do not want to miss these. Here are 9 things that everyone loves, but Sigma men hate. 1. Showing off. Sigma men see right through the pretense of those who show off. That WhatsApp status update, those sneaky holiday pictures posted on Facebook, and the effort you are making to show off your Hublot wristwatch, they see it, and it makes them laugh. Sigma men hate showing off, and they find it funny when others try to show off to them. A Sigma man could go on the most expensive vacation imaginable, fly first class, and stay in the most expensive hotel in the world, and no one would know about it. This is because whatever the Sigma male does, he does it for himself and not to make anyone feel jealous. These guys are pros at minding their own business. They don't feel the need to put on a show to impress anyone. They're all about the live and let live philosophy. Life's too short for jealousy games in their book. Sigmas steer clear of showing off because they value authenticity over appearances. They're not interested in putting up a front to win attention. Instead, they find satisfaction in being genuine to themselves. It's like they've cracked the code to inner contentment. Honestly, it's a pretty refreshing approach in a world where so many folks are competing with each other as if there is a prize for who can be the fakest person on earth. Sigma men see life as a personal journey, not a competition for who can flash the flashiest bling. They're not into that whole comparison game. They believe in carving their path and enjoying life on their terms. 2. Movies and TV series. Sigma men enjoy movies with solid storytelling. They prefer movies that have some historical value or give insight into a societal issue. But you will never catch a Sigma male wasting his time watching anything and everything on Netflix or TV. Sigma men do not believe in watching movies just because they are bored. This is why most people watch movies and TV series. They feel they need to while away their time. The idea of just wasting time is something Sigma men do not understand. Why intentionally waste your time? Now, picture this, while Mr. Average Joe binges through shows like there's no tomorrow, a Sigma man would rather go through a root canal. Seriously, it's like torture for them. They know that many of those movies and series are slapped together without much thought, just money-making schemes for people who can't resist the bait. Besides, most movies are full of propaganda and politics. They are always promoting one agenda and trying to program people's minds in certain ways. Even TV content made for children is absolute rubbish these days. These men recognize that movies and TV series are created with minimal effort put into telling a story. Sigma men tend to be very good critics of movies, which makes them get turned off easily when they realize a movie is not as good as they expected. Sigma men are seekers of inspiration and knowledge, not entertainment. 3. Luxury products with no equivalent value. Sigma men make their purchases based on logic and cannot get carried away with the hype around a product. They do not mind spending good money on a product, but they want to be sure that the product is worth every penny they are paying. Will a Sigma man buy an Italian shoe? Most likely, because the quality speaks for itself, even if these shoes cost a lot of money. But will a Sigma man buy an overpriced luxury flip-flop? He won't. Sigma men do not care about the celebrities who endorse such products. Sigma men see most luxury items as beautifully branded scams. It's like paying for the name more than the actual thing. They won't throw cash at something just because it's labeled luxury. They're after real value. Take a look at Steve Jobs. That man was a tech genius, and he kept his style minimal. You'd catch him in his signature black turtleneck and jeans. He knew what mattered, the product, not the show. And let's not forget about Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, they call him. This guy's a financial powerhouse, and he lives in the same house he bought decades ago. He's not about flashy mansions or gold-plated gadgets. He's about smart investments and real, lasting value. So, when it comes to luxury, don't get blinded by the glitz. Look for the real deal, the substance, the value that lasts. 4. Being loud. We live in a time when people think they need to be loud before they can be heard, and they are always doing too much just to get noticed. Sigma men are usually very quiet and reserved. They do not struggle to be the center because they do not need the attention. They would even prefer it if they were not noticed. There is a popular saying, "It is the empty barrels that make the loudest noise." This is indeed true. Those who are masters at showing off are usually those trying to compensate for their low self-esteem by showing off. Because Sigma men hate showing off, it is usually hard to tell how much they are capable of, and it often leads to others underestimating them. Sigma men hate talking too much. Instead, they let their actions do the talking. Instead of making a big fuss, they quietly tackle challenges and conquer problems. They let their achievements speak for themselves. 5. Expensive dining. Sigma men can't stand those fancy, wallet-emptying restaurants, the ones people would call gourmet restaurants that are just out there to capitalize on people who need to show they have a taste for expensive food, even when the food is just overpriced. People you will typically find in these types of restaurants are all about flaunting their riches, not about savoring good grub. Now, here's the deal. Sigma guys understand they can grab top-notch chow and a great vibe without draining their bank accounts. You see, those high-end joints might have a posh exterior, but inside, it's a whole lot of show-off. The big shots at those tables are more concerned with flashing their gold cards than actually relishing the taste of the food. It's like a parade of wealth, and the real star is the check at the end, not the meal itself. But hold on a second, my friend, because there's a smarter move here. Sigma men figured out that a meal doesn't have to cost you a king's ransom to be mind-blowing. They know that good food and a warm vibe aren't exclusive to the glitzy spots. Adding a layer or two of gold leaf to a burger does not make it the best burger in the world. 6. Parties. Lone wolves are disinterested in those lively gatherings we call parties, and you might wonder why. Well, it's because parties, with all their noise, chatter, and flashy lights, tend to be a bit overwhelming for these conservative men. They'd rather have a quieter setting where they can engage in thoughtful discussions without all the noise and activities. Instead of small talk and superficial chit-chat, they thrive on diving deep into topics that tickle their intellect. You'll find them sipping coffee in cozy cafes or engrossed in books at a library. They seek environments where they can exchange ideas and expand their knowledge. 7. Social media. Ever wondered why Sigma men are not all that into social media? And even when they do have accounts, they are not flaunting their stuff left and right? Well, let me break it down for you. They don't buy into the whole show and tell routine. Why, you ask? Because they know deep down that it's just plain silly. They have some solid reasons to back up their stance. First off, these astute minds aren't all about broadcasting their every move to the whole wide world. They understand that privacy is like a precious gem, something to be protected. They've got a grip on the fact that not everything needs to be put on display for everyone and their grandma to see. And let's talk about those reasons, shall we? These Sigma wolves reckon that time is a precious resource. They aren't going to waste it scrolling through endless feeds and posting selfies every 5 minutes. Even if they have nothing to do, they would prefer to have a nap than scroll through pictures and superficial posts on social media. 8. Reunions. There is nothing wrong with having reunions, but Sigma men are not big fans of these annual meetings. Sigma men tend to have very few friends, and the few friends they have are so valued that there is a high chance that the Sigma man is still in contact with his old friends. So there is usually no reason for him to want a reunion with other people from his past that he does not fancy. 9. Celebrities. Sigma men tend to steer clear of the whole celebrity craze. They do appreciate the achievements of people who've truly made a difference in the world, but they just don't see the point of becoming super fans. They respect those who've brought something valuable to humanity, but getting all hyped up about celebrities? Nah, that's not their cup of tea. I mean, seriously, why bother keeping up with every little tidbit of celebrity gossip? These sharp minds just can't wrap their heads around the idea of spending precious time on that stuff. They've got more important things on their plate, you know. They're focused on the real deal, accomplishments that matter.